Hello friends! Okay, we are down here in the grow room and we are starting ranunculus corms as well as anemones. So if you have gotten these from our website and kind of peeked at them, you're probably wondering what in the heck, because they look very odd. The anemone corms are kind of like little, people will usually describe them as kind of like Hershey Kiss-like things. So they're dehydrated, they're very dry, and probably look like they wouldn't do anything, but all the life is still in here. We just have to soak them so that they rehydrate and get all plump. So this is an anemone. Here is a ranunculus. They look more kind of like an octopus, like they have lots of little tentacles. The roots look like little tentacles, but these are gonna plump up so pretty and probably like close to double in size when you rehydrate them. Let me kind of take you through what we do. And of course, you're gonna do this on a smaller scale, so please don't feel intimidated by what you see here. I take like an organza bag. For these, I use things like, these were bags that tulip bulbs had come in the fall, and like this, but any kind of mesh bag that is gonna allow the water to come in and out of there. And then we write a tag, and I'm gonna put that in there so that I know which variety is which. If you do not care, don't worry about tagging them. These ones are the Italian, the Levante Bianco. So I'm just putting those in here, cinch it up so they don't get tossed around outside of the bag when they are in the soak bath. So as you're putting them in the bags, if you notice that you have some of the little tentacles that have broken off, those are not viable. It's fine. They will be totally fine. Just discard these, throw them in the trash. They are of no good, no use. Okay, so to soak them, you can either just put them in a bowl in your sink if you only have, you know, like your 10 pack or your 20 pack. We like to use garage sink or whatever I have down here in the grow room. And I also put a bubbler in here so that it keeps the water circulating and there's less chance of disease just sitting while they soak. If you obviously are probably not soaking the quantity that we are, so I wouldn't necessarily worry about moving water. If you want to kind of shake them around a few times over the soaking period, I would do that. Some people like to leave the water running so it's always just circulating. I have in the past just soaked them without any agitation and they have been just fine. So don't feel like you have to go to this extensive length, but like I said, when we're growing on such a larger scale, I want to eliminate any chance of disease. So there you go. As you can see, they have rehydrated. They don't look like dry, dead little things anymore. And we're gonna plant these into some soil, leave them in the dark for approximately 10 days or so, and then we'll start to see little sprouts coming out the top and maybe some roots coming out as well, like some white root hairs. But I'll keep you updated and kind of show you the process from our end so that you can feel confident about pre-sprouting yours as well. So after your corms have been soaking for the 3 hours and you drain them off, you're gonna plant them in just a very shallow bit of soil. I'm not gonna fill this whole 10-20 tray just because we don't have enough to fill it with the corms. Just them tentacle side down into the soil. And just like that, this is how you do it. After we have them down like this, we're gonna cover with just another light bit of soil. Now take note that this tray is not very deep, only about 3 inches. So you don't want a whole ton of excess soil under here, because if you wet it and the soil is too wet down there, it's gonna cause rot underneath. So just choose a shallow dish of some kind and then just fill it with about 1 inch. Put your tubers in, and then you'll see we're gonna cover these here. So you can see from this angle how deep it is, and then we cover just a little bit. And then you're gonna use your sprayer and just get the soil fairly wet, but not soaking, just a little damp. Then we place a humidity dome over top, and then another dark cover to keep things dark. You can see the profile here, the two trays, as well as the humidity dome between them. And remember, you can get creative. You don't have to use the humidity dome. You could use like some saran wrap and then another, just something to keep the light out to place on top. So we're out here in the cooler. This is where I keep our tubers, as you can see, for storage, as well as the Ranunculus to pre-sprout. They like to stay in a cool environment between 40 and 50 degrees. That helps reduce the chance of rot. Anything warmer could potentially cause rot. A cool corner of a basement will work as well. So I'm just checking in on them here. This is it's been about a week since we planted these, and we're not really seeing any growth yet. Maybe I can kind of pull one up here to see. Yeah, we're not really seeing anything yet, so don't get too discouraged, but things will happen, I promise. I'm just going to tuck that guy back in there and cover them back up and just keep on waiting. Usually takes about 10 days or so before we do start to see any growth.